last week, Toys R Us opened a new flagship store in the Mall of America. According to Retail Dive, the new 11,000 square foot Mall of America location is the second flagship store in the U.S., joining the first location at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. In-store shoppers can find toys and games and even take pictures with Jeffrey the giraffe. Chris, you were our boots on the ground correspondent here. You saw this firsthand this weekend. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway, a couple things. So I'll give you like the nostalgic takeaway. It was super fun. I hyped it up to the kids all weekend long. I didn't tell them we were going, and they were like, "What are we doing, Dad?" And we walked through the whole mall to find it, and then they saw it. And they were like super excited, and so net, the experience delivered for me in terms of what I intended to do with my kids, that weekend. But
yeah,
with that said, Ann, I think there's a few critical observations I would have as well. First, there were no prices on any of the products, which I say
were there stickers on the boxes?
There on a few, but for the majority of them, no. And there were no prices on the shelves either. So, but my thing is like, okay, that's fixable. It's probably honestly a symptom of the fact that they just weren't ready to open as much as they wanted to be. And they wanted to get open before Black Friday and before the holiday season starts.
Right.
So I can understand that. And it's probably worth the risk. And they had people with scanners going around. So if you wanted to ask them how much something costs, you could find out.
That's simple. That's like waiting to get a closet opened so that I can buy Dove soap at Target.
Yeah, it was not a great experience on that front for sure, but hopefully it's fixable. They may have already fixed it. Who knows? But the other point I make is the cash wrap is really poorly designed. There isn't enough space to handle the traffic throughout the course of a large holiday season. So it's going to bottleneck. It's going to become massive, if they correct the pricing issues and get people into the store. So that's an issue. But the third point, which is something you brought up to me in conversations about this, is I was more excited about it than my kids, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, that was my first question for you. It's like, yes, for you and I, it's nostalgic, but like, do the kids care? Were they excited to be there once they like got in and saw the toys? Like, what was it like? What did they say?
The interesting thing about that point is like the kids, once you take them into a toy store, the kids will be interested in something, right?
For sure.
It's like crack. But in retrospect, as I was thinking about it, and I think this is important for the long-term nature of what they're trying to do here, is the assortments were smaller than what I'd find at a typical Target or a Walmart. Like
really,
there were not nearly as many Legos,
was it just there was more quantity, like of other like variety, I guess, like where they weren't going deep on like where I feel like Target and Walmart have to like go deep on certain categories.
I would say
there's so much stuff.
I don't know the exact floor pad of a Target or a Walmart dedicated to toys, but it's not that much smaller, or it's pretty equivalent to 11,000 square feet of space. It's a pretty large part of the floor pad where you're capturing a lot. And so, it felt like Toys R Us was invested in other categories, like particularly games were very big in the back of the store, much more so than a Walmart or a Target. But you compare that to like Legos, which are the key traffic driver for our family, much smaller assortment. So I don't know. That's where I wonder, like, how strong are the legs atop which this concept stands as it tries to roll out? I think in a market like the Mall of America, with that type of traffic, tourists, makes sense. Those big high places that already get the traffic, it makes sense. But as it tries to extend out regionally, I still have a lot of concerns about that, because you're missing the superstore effect of what made Toys R Us what it was. And that model may be gone forever. Who knows? But it seems like it's working for Dick's. Dick's just had a great earnings report too. So I don't know, but the way it's currently constituted and the size it is, I have concerns as it rolls out further.
Okay, yeah, that was going to be my next question for you, was like, okay, MOA, American Dream, the first two openings, they're tourist destinations. You have people in that gifting mindset. Like you were like, we're going to make a day of it. We're going to go to the Mall of America and like be there. And I'm planning on probably leaving with something with my kids.
Oh, yeah.
But what happens when that format goes to like the B2C malls or B or C malls, or like, in the Macy's concept that we've been seeing for the last year? I'm curious if that will have any legs. And then the last point is they're going into food too. Like I imagine that was not open yet at the Mall of America, it sounds like, but apparently they're doing like the Jeffrey Cafe and stuff, which I also question, like, again, nostalgic for you and I, but like, are your kids going to want to stay in the toy store and like have a malt or something or whatever it might be? Like, I just don't know that that's the right venue for this, or another complication to add to the process. But I don't know. I guess M&M World and all those places do it too, but
yeah, but it's a
will
tough,
that be the case?
tough competitive ground inside of a mall. But hey, maybe that's actually an interesting point for like if you try to go strip mall with this instead of like
Yeah,
traditional
that's true.
malls too. Like, you know,
That's
like
true.
could you shrink this format down? But I don't know if the economics work on that either, because it's a tough toys is a tough business because everyone sells what you sell.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for that report, Chris. I appreciate it. And for all the photos on LinkedIn. Check them out if you haven't
Yeah, they
seen
were
them.
some of the
There's some
worst
pretty
social
cute ones.
media photos I ever took. Like, I don't know what angles I was thinking about with those for those
Well,
that saw them. I
you know what?
apologize.
You're just, you got to keep doing it. Just keep doing more. Go
Stick
out
to
and
my strengths.
find
Soar
some
with my
stores in
strengths, man.
Find some stores in California to take some pictures in this weekend.